Okay, man. There's a lot of stuff going on. Just, and I'm gonna have to touch on these things. First thing I am going to say is that the the whole pyramid thing, that's crazy, and they still don't know exactly what's going on there. So I've been trying to wait a little bit before I say anything regarding to that. But that'll probably be my next video that I do. So I have to do as much research and get as much information, obviously without speculation or whatever else. But that's really hard to do. So, but I am going to do my best to figure out that situation. So, but this I want to talk about is LeBron James, man. This dude. Let's start off from the top, bro. The guy is an awesome player. He's been playing forever, and that is pretty much unheard of in any sport for anyone to play as long as LeBron James and play at the level that he's playing. Now, that doesn't mean that he's the greatest. That just means that his longevity is great. That's it. Because for him to be in the league this long, you would think that something else would have happened. He's had many chances. This is what I'm going to show you guys. Because I keep seeing stuff about, oh, well, he's been playing this long. Jordan wasn't this good at 40. But, bruh, stop. Come on, stop. Now, before I really dive deep into this and start, showing you guys some, just some certain things. Some of the stuff I've already talked about in other videos. But I got to include that in here, too. Because this is an example of what people keep trying to do. And it just ain't working. Everyone who's done polls and everything else, Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen, talking about he wanted to be the greatest. And it's like, bro, you're not. You know what I'm saying? You were the best wingman. And you were definitely a good player. One of the best defensive players, I believe, in my mind, of all time. Because when they needed defense, they went to Scottie for that. And it wasn't that Jordan couldn't play defense, but that was just Scottie Pippen's specialty. That's why they got Rodman, because his rebounds, that's his specialty. He knows how to move the ball around. He knows what to do and where to be, and he knows how to work the situation. Everyone plays a role. Not everyone could be a Michael Jordan, but you could be a supporter, which it did, and that brought you what? Championships. Now, the other thing I want to also mention about Scottie Pippen is that Jordan gave him the credit. It wasn't like Jordan didn't give him the credit. Jordan gave him the credit. So, I'm still trying to figure that one out. And even people are saying, oh, somebody whispered. No, Jordan already said what the situation was. He said that, without Scottie, I don't think I would have got these championships. And he gave credit to Scottie Pippen. So, and then, of course, Last Dance was just about Michael Jordan, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, there's so much, but I'm trying to just, because this is what the situation is right now, is LeBron James trying to pretty much be the king when overall, no. In this generation, sure, I agree with that. But even then, still. And I'm going to show you that too, because there are situations where if this dude is the dude, then how come he couldn't get it done? You do what it takes. All I saw was whining and crying. Charles Barkley even said it. He said, bro, I don't want to ever hear y'all, a couple years ago. He's like, I don't want to ever hear you guys say that LeBron is better than Jordan, period, when he lost that final. So he's like, nope, I don't even want to hear it. He's like, I will slap you right on the spot. He's like, I don't care about the repercussions. I don't care about the backlash, right on the spot. I'm smacking the taste out your mouth. So anyways, the other thing I want to touch on too, and let me see if I can find it. I'm going to have to open up another page. But anyways, let's go to this real quick, because I noticed no one said anything too. No one made no comments or anything else. I mean, I would have, accepted the comments and explained the situation. That way, where I was coming from, even though it was a bit harsh. But, I'm going to stand by what I said, either way, because I obviously that's how much it pissed me off. So I made this video about Star Wars, and in this video I was talking about this chick, Kathleen Kennedy. And just to make this real quick, and homegirl, I said, I just wanted to choke her or some joke like that. But anyways, I said those things, and I stand by it, because that's how passionate people are about Star Wars. So if anyone got offended, you know what? It is what it is. You got your feelings hurt. It ain't even talking about you, so I don't know what you got your feelings hurt for. You know what? Yeah, you can go ahead and skip me and do all that junk and unsubscribe. I don't care. Because I put it the way I think it should be, and the way I think everyone else feels about the situation, but no one will say it because they don't want to be judged. And it's like, bro, stop judging people, because you know what it is. It's that passion that you have for something, and when someone comes and tries to mess it up and do all this other crazy junk, yeah, you take offense to that. So, I noticed a couple people obviously didn't like that. They didn't say anything, but I noticed. Because I looked at my algorithms and all that kind of stuff. So, after that, I was like, oh, okay, well, either way, I'm not deleting it, and it is what it is. And if people come back to it later on, okay, whatever. I'm gonna still say the same thing now, because people are always doing crazy junk. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I was actually going to go do that, but that's how passionate I am about something. And it's like, bro, you know what? I just wanted to freaking just get rid of this lady at all means. You know what I'm saying? Not that I was trying to promote any kind of hatred or whatever. It's like, dude, you do your job, and it makes me mad when people don't do their job and they still have a job. Just saying. So I'm gonna go ahead and skirt that. We done with that. Whatever. It is what it is. Now, LeBron James has obviously been in the league for a long time, and he's had plenty of opportunities to do things. The one thing that he hasn't done is three-peat. And it's too late. Honestly, it's too late. Any of you win a championship, and we've been saying this for the past 10 years, oh, he wins this championship, he's the GOAT. Well, actually, I'll say more, 7 years, because I'm going to show the bracket here for the NBA champions. But either way, for the past 7 years, dude's been saying it, oh, well, if he wins this championship this year, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. And every single time, he freaking lost. And then they made up a bunch of excuses about why he lost and who he didn't have and who he had and all. And it's like, bro, stop. Just stop. Just recognize the fact that he has played for a long time. The only reason why he is able to break all these dang records is because he's been playing forever. Now, if you look at Jordan's career and his numbers and analytics and everything else, and you start looking at that, it gets more freaky. Because if he would have played the same amount of years that LeBron has, no one would ever touch, including LeBron, would have never touched. And let's put a extra stick in there. If Jordan was still playing after 96, let's just go to the list here, man. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to start here because I didn't notice. I thought the Celtics went back to back too, but they didn't. They actually won one, lost one, won one, and then the Lakers went back to back, and then the Pistons won, and that's that year when they tore the. Actually, no, was it this year? Or was it? Yeah, it was both years. They ended up tearing the Bulls up, and you can see Detroit Pistons, pretty much swept the Lakers. They also swept the Bulls. Then you see this. Michael Jordan's first championship against the Lakers, which the Lakers was still good. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bulls were about the same age. If you look at the ages, it's pretty much the same thing. When you look at the Bulls from the third or the sixth championship, and then you look at the Lakers for their first championship. Or actually, that's the wrong one. Where's it at? Okay, right here. So if you look at that, I didn't even know it was the Portland Trailblazers that played the Pistons there. Okay. All right, they actually won one game, but either way, it's still, pretty close to a sweep. But yeah, as you can see here, these Lakers that played the Bulls here were about the same age as the Bulls that won their sixth championship. Now, and the other thing I was kind of asked questions about too, because I had to look, I was wondering about it. It was actually the Rockets who won both those championships in between that time Jordan was gone. So when you look at the situation, Jordan pretty much won 6 championships in a row. And possibly he could have won 8 if he wouldn't have left. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, the Houston Rockets were, yeah, you know what? A lot of these teams were good. And guess what happened? They lost. Portland Trailblazers, they weren't a bad team. They were a pretty good team with freaking Clyde Drexler. They were a good team. People say, oh, no, man, stop it. Phoenix Suns, also, they had the best record in the league at that time. They were also a good team with Charles Barkley, Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, all these other guys. They were still a good team. And they actually won 2 of those games. They actually almost won 3. But Jordan was like, nah, man, I want to go home. I'm done. We ain't even playing this game. And, obviously, when the Suns won that game, when everybody thought they was going to lose, he was like, nah, man. He's like, y'all can put all that stuff away. So it was an entertaining series, but, they couldn't close it out. And obviously, Barkley wasn't a bad player. But then, when they lost against the Bulls, he was like, you know what? I thought I was the best player at one point, but then Michael Jordan. Once again, Phoenix Suns should have had a championship. The Portland Trailblazers should have had a championship. The Seattle Supersonics should have had. And I see people showing stuff about this one. It's like, bro, it doesn't matter how they were playing. The fact of the matter is, what is the final? The final is they lost. Stop trying to make up stuff that don't make no difference. Okay, if that's the case, let's look at this. And I've said this before. We're going to come back to that too. The Buffalo Bills lost 4 straight Super Bowls, bro. They went to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row and lost them all. Dallas actually freaking went back to back. And the other 2 were New York, which, honestly, I can't say it wasn't deserving because they had Lawrence Taylor and all those other guys. The Redskins, but Dallas went back to back on them. They just couldn't get it. This was a good team. This Buffalo Bills team was freaking stellar. They had offense, they had defense, they had everything. They had the coach. They had everything. But they couldn't win. Now, are we going to sit here and talk about the Buffalo Bills and say how they're one of the greatest teams ever to play? No, you're not going to say it, even though they went to 4 straight Super Bowls. What matters is winning. When you lose, it doesn't matter. Now, we'll go back to the NBA list. So, when you look at when he started winning, and look, the only other team to ever three-peat, the Lakers. And of course, that was with Kobe Bryant and Shaq. Now, if they would have, kept their dynamic together and put all that stuff aside, I'm going to lean more on Shaq on that because, Shaq just thought he could just do whatever he want. And Kobe was like, no, man, in order to get this done, we got to do this, and this. You got to, get on the grind and everything else because that's what it takes. And who proved that? I should have put that up here, but who proved that? Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Because that's exactly what he did. He didn't go crying about nothing. He just went on the court and said, okay, well, guess what? I'm going to show you what it's about. And that's what he did. Is this guy doing that? No. All he's doing is padding the stats. That's it. Hoping that people will be like, oh, okay, yeah, and it don't even matter. You could win. He could win 3 straight championships from this point. It still won't matter because it's too late. Now, you will get the credit for it because at least you got the three-peat. But you haven't even got the three-peat. And you're put over Kobe, which not only did he get the three-peat, but he came back and won 2 more without Shaq. Because guess what? People were talking crap. Oh, Kobe can't win without Shaq, blah, 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 this and that. Well, guess what he did? He did just that. And on top of that, this man could not save the USA team. They had to go get Kobe. And guess what? The media, especially the sports media, they didn't say one single solitary thing about the Redeem Team. They didn't say anything or cover anything like they be covering the stuff they be covering. They didn't cover nothing. about it. When that doc came out, the only reason why I freaking, ended up watching it is because I just happened to see it on Netflix. I was like, oh, let me check that out. But I was like, well, damn, how come the media is not really talking about it? They might have mentioned it, but they didn't dive deep. So I was watching it, and I noticed a lot of stuff just from the doc. And home dude just refused to pass Kobe the ball. And of course, I talked to this other guy about it, and everybody's making excuses about that, about, oh, well, no, bro, I saw the junk. Kobe was wide open. Straight shot. This man decides to throw the ball all the way across the other side of the court. And Kobe's just standing there with his hands waving, and then when the dude throws the ball, he just looks at him like, really, bro? It's in the doc. You gotta watch it, but you gotta be paying attention because they don't highlight it. I just happened to notice it, and I was like, what the heck? So I went and watched the games to see, how, what was going on. And yeah, LeBron was just straight hating. But it's like, bro, they had to call Kobe in to get y'all to win. You couldn't even do it, and you were younger. So how do y'all keep coming up with this stuff, man? There's so many things that go against LeBron. And like I said, I'm not trying to hate on the man. I'm just pointing out this. It's irritating. It's irritating that you keep trying to put this man above everybody else. I mean, honestly, you can't even put him above Kareem. And he passed Kareem with points. It's just retarded, man. It just gets retarded. Plain and simple. So, once again, let's look at the chances Mr. Chosen One, the King, had. Let's start, obviously. Let's see. The Miami Heat, I think it was right about in here. So, once again, that first series that they had, they ended up losing that. Look at it, 4-2. Not 4-3, like the Lakers did. I mean, they still won, but look, 4-2. And then you won back-to-back. You couldn't get that three-peat. You almost had it, but you didn't get it. Now, here's the other. You had it on the front and the back, and you played the Spurs, and you almost got swept by them. And once again, more excuses. Okay, now, was Jordan making excuses when he lost to the Pistons twice? Did he have hard feelings about the situation? Yeah, probably. He was probably pissed off about it. But guess what? He came back and won 3 straight. The first one, before they played the Lakers, they played the Pistons. And they swept them. Once again, all the excuses in the world came up, but if they would have won, just like they did these 2 years, there was no excuses there. And then on top of that, y'all pretty much cheated in order to win. If you really want to, throw it out there, because y'all was it was WrestleMania in that Eastern Conference Finals against the Bulls. I mean, even the Knicks did it too. I can't remember what year that was. What year was that? That was the year they played. No, I think that was separate. I might have to look at that bracket. But there was a time when they obviously played the Knicks. That was a very physical series. And then when they played the Pacers, that was a very physical series. And that was for the conference, Eastern Conference Finals. So when you do the history and you start looking at all these teams and whatever else and who won, who lost, it pretty much tells a story, bro. And that's all you got to look at. It's not about championship. No, it's not. Because when you look at this, who was on these teams right here? Robert Horry, 7 championships. Why does he have 7 championships? Oh, because he was in the right place at the right time. And he was a role player, and he played his role. He played his role very well. I would give him credit for that. He, like I told you in my other video, he actually hit some pretty good shots. He hit some, important shots. So once again, LeBron James with all this stuff going on, his son in the NBA, that's awesome, because the last time that happened where a son and father played in sports was in baseball, when Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad played in the same game. Actually hit back-to-back home runs in that same game too, which is pretty awesome. But look, once again, they both contributed to the situation. There was no, oh, well, you know what, Ken Griffey Sr. just brought his son in, and, this, and that, and he sucks, and, he comes in and doesn't play well. They both end up hitting home runs in that game. And Ken Griffey Jr. is one of the all-time greats. So, can't say nothing about that. But, once again, it is awesome to see a son and father play on the same team. That is awesome. But they pushed it too much, and they rushed it too much, which once again counts against Mr. James. And not even that, there's a whole bunch of stuff that counts against James. When it comes to basketball, yeah, because I can tell you right now, Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, he is a raw individual. I know that for a fact. Basketball, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. Personally, questionable. It's very questionable. I've heard the stories, but I can't confirm or deny. But the fact of the matter is I know that people have said some things and whatever else. And yeah, I'm just like, bro, I can't believe it. And he's done some good stuff. He really has. But he's always stayed in a neutral zone with any situation. Even though he dealt with the same kind of thing, being black. Once again, it almost brings me back to the O.J. Simpson situation, where he was like, oh, I'm not black, I'm O.J. So, stuff like that. Once people get money and get success, they forget where they came from, and they just look down on everybody else. And that's the way I feel personally on that situation when it comes to Michael Jordan. Basketball, greatest of all time. Hands down. I ain't got nothing bad to say about the guy. But personally, questionable. So, I'm gonna leave it with that, man. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to, hear your input and whatever else, and what you think. From the stuff that I just showed you right now, it is what it is. And of course, LeBron James has got this stuff going on back and forth with Stephen A. And I mean, it's just, dude, it just hurts you so bad. It hurts you so bad. Your legacy is you're digging the hole yourself for it. And I don't care how many points you get. I don't care how many records you have. It doesn't matter if you don't win. Period. So, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so you got a total of 4 championships, because that one doesn't count. You weren't with the Heat at that time. You weren't with the Heat until here. And didn't I see that? Yeah, they won up here. So, yeah, once again, you didn't start winning till here. And then you continue to not win even after that, making excuses because, oh, the San Antonio Spurs this. Oh, the Golden State Warriors, oh, they had these. Blah, blah, blah. You know what? Michael Jordan faced a lot of competition. Hell, I mean, these two teams were some of the best teams at the time, especially the Supersonics. The Supersonics weren't just a lay-down team. This was a good basketball team. The Utah Jazz were definitely a very good basketball team. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Hornacek, all these other guys. They were a pretty solid team. And just with those two, John Stockton and Karl Malone was a monster. And he also had points. But no one was trying to call, him the GOAT of anything and whatever else. You know why? Because he lost. He freaking lost. Just stop. It just gets retarded after a while. No one even talks about the Portland Trailblazers, and they were a good team. Hell, Clyde was a good player. He was a hell of a player, but you lost. Let's look at this Super Bowl championships. Look. Where's it at? I saw it too. The Denver Broncos. They lost by 19 points against the Giants. And this ain't the only time they actually made it either, which is even more fun. Okay, I'm going back way too far. So look, they went 2 times in a row Lost to Giants and the Washington Redskins. You lost. No one cared. Then they played San Francisco against Joe Montana. You lost. No one cares. Okay? Then after that, you had the Buffalo Bills who went 4 straight. Lost. No one cares. No one cares how much stats you got. No one cares about that. If you lost, you lost. Period. Let's see. Where is it? It had to be somewhere around here. I know it was after. Yeah. Should be closer to here. Yeah, so right here. That's when the Denver Broncos went back to back. You won. And you went back to back. One of the greatest Broncos teams ever. I'm a Denver Broncos fan. But that was the greatest setup they had. With all those guys. John Elway, Shannon Sharp, Terrell Davis, and many more. Offense and defense. They won. Okay? Now, let's look at, which I think is actually very interesting. But I know this is football, but once again, I'm making an example to show you that people just kind of make up junk as they go along. You know, they know what the deal is. You win, they care. They celebrate. You lose, they're just like, oh, well, okay, we're done. But this dude just keeps losing. So here's another thing I'm going to show. Let's go down to where that year when the Nuggets won. They played the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. You know what happened there? But guess what? Oh, we got to make up all the excuses. He couldn't get it done. He's the GOAT, right? He's the, he's the greatest. The longevity, no one's been playing as good at. Okay, well, if that's the case, how come he couldn't beat the Nuggets? How come? Yeah, that's what I thought. So, once again, I'm not trying to hate on this guy. I'm just saying it's pointing out the situation that is so annoying because they just keep trying to push it and push it and push it. And people keep coming up with the same thing. They've had numerous polls that you don't even know about. And guess what? They all turn out the same. Who's the greatest of all time? And they use 3 basketball players. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. And Michael Jordan is always number 1. Kobe Bryant is usually number 2. So, it is what it is, man. Let me know what you guys think. I'm out. Peace.